I, 21, was one of those kids who was born on Christmas Day. Which I wouldn't have minded at all if my parents treated this normally. For example, my friend's boyfriend was also born on Christmas, and he said his parents would do his birthday in the morning and Christmas in the afternoon, and I wouldn't have minded that at all. However, my parents said it was greedy to have two celebrations on one day, so I had to choose between having Christmas with everyone else, my family and extended family, or have my birthday on Boxing Day and not take part in Christmas. I wouldn't have any presents or the chocolates and stuff everyone else would. I wasn't even allowed to help with the Christmas tree. This was pretty sad. Either I had Christmas with everyone and wasn't even wished happy birthday, and because we wouldn't be at school I never got happy birthdays from my friends, or I was completely left out during Christmas and had a birthday where everyone was still focused on Christmas. And if I chose birthday, my parents would tell my extended family I didn't want Christmas, and if I chose Christmas they said I didn't want my birthday, so I didn't get both from my extended family. It made my childhood absolute hell and ruined holidays for me. My first Christmas and birthday away from home was probably the best day of my life. Well, because of COVID my family were talking about doing a Zoom call for Christmas, and my mum said, well, I guess I'll get to choose to be part of the Christmas call, or we call her on Boxing Day for her birthday. I don't know why, but I just blew up and called her a jerk and said they ruined my childhood. It's not like they couldn't afford it. My family is probably in the top 1% of the country money-wise, and even so I could have still taken part in festivities and only had one present. But my brothers are calling me selfish, and my auntie says I need to apologize. And it's Christmas, so I feel like I should. Not the idiot at all. It's not your fault you were born on that day, and like you said, it wasn't even a I want more presents issue. It's not hard at all to acknowledge both holidays. Even if they did your birthday on the 26th, why wouldn't they also let you do Christmas? Everyone else gets both, just because their parents screwed the right time of year to avoid Christmas. This is some manipulative crap from your family. Especially the comments they made regarding the Zoom call, and how they tell your extended family not to celebrate your day or Christmas, whichever you decided. You're not the idiot. I'm sorry they did that to you. This is just insane. I wasn't born on Christmas, but my birthday is the very beginning of January. Still kind of in the holiday bubble. It's also the same day as one of my cousins. But my parents always made sure growing up that my birthday was celebrated. Usually we would celebrate with family on the actual day, then I would have a party in the middle of January. I can even fathom what is wrong with your parents to do this to you, but it's insanely screwed up to put this guilt and shame on you and call it greedy to celebrate your birthday as well. You are absolutely not the idiot, and please don't apologize and enable this behavior anymore. You did what you had to, don't be sorry for it. Not the idiot. I'm thinking your parents might have been concerned about money buying you two special presents at once, but still. And to tell family and friends that you only wanted to celebrate one, either birthday or Christmas, screws big time. I am so sorry for you. Your parents, especially mom, are so idiots. If my child was born on or near Christmas, I still would have gifted him goody Rooney gifts. Birthday and Christmas are both big present days. I always started saving money for birthday and Christmas presents as soon as I bought him the birthday for that year. Same for Christmas. As soon as I get him this year's Christmas present, I start saving for next year. I am a dad, 43, to 3 kids, 15, 10, 8. I love them more than anything and want to resolve this problem ASAP, as I hate fighting with them. I like to think that my wife and I have been good parents thus far. We are not extremely strict or helicopter parents. We do not limit screen time for my daughters. They all get a weekly allowance and are asked to do very minimal chores, cleaning their shared bathroom, washing their dishes, etc. The kids have had no issues with the way our household runs until now. Since my eldest was born, my wife and I have enforced a no pajama policy around the house. We consider it the same as taking off your shoes when you come inside. Pajamas are worn for sleeping, in their bedrooms, at night. They aren't allowed to wear them down into shared spaces, living room, kitchen, etc., or during times of the day when they're up and active, essentially anytime they aren't sleeping. This is to keep everyone from feeling lazy or like they have nothing to do, and also keeps everyone looking presentable and clean. We have been enforcing this rule a bit more ever since they switched to online school, as we don't want them falling asleep or becoming distracted during or in between class. The only exception is pajama night once a week, where we all wear pajamas and play board games or watch a movie together. My wife and I follow the same rule, for the sake of fairness. A few days ago, my eldest came down for breakfast in her pajamas. I asked her to go back upstairs and change before joining us, and told her we would wait for her before we started eating. She refused, so I told her that she could either change out of her pajamas or go back to bed, as pajamas are for sleeping only. It ended in an argument between her, my wife, and I. She said the rule is unfair and ridiculous, and that we aren't allowed to control what she wears. She also claimed that she was uncomfortable in everything else because it was all too formal for breakfast. I told her I don't care what she changes into, so long as they aren't pajamas. She could wear sweatpants if she'd like, but the expectation we set in our house is that pajamas are for sleeping only. I also pointed out that we don't control what she wears out of the house, no pajamas, obviously, and within reason as they are still young. She stormed off to her room and won't speak to me or my wife. I am wondering if I or we are the idiots in this situation, as we are, to some degree, policing what our children wear around the house. But I also feel that it isn't a huge demand to make, especially since my wife and I also follow it, and generally don't ask much else of the kids. No idiots here. You're entitled to make the rules in your house, and this isn't abusive, especially if they're allowed to wear sweats. One thing to consider though, is that teenage girls have their clothing policed in ways that are simply unfair. They're told they have to be modest because boys can't control themselves and the responsibility falls on their shoulders. Her reaction may not just be a teenage tantrum and could be about the overall unfairness of being told what she can wear. It may even be subconscious. However, I understand where your daughter is coming from completely. I can't really offer a resolution, but I think neither of you are idiots. Not the idiot, because I'm the same way, but you and I seem to be the exceptions. I never got the laze around in pajamas thing, even though I tried it several times in college. Just nope. I get up and go shower and put on clothes, including sweats in the winter. Now everyone has a slightly different definition of pajamas, but I figure whatever you sleep in are your pajamas, and once you are up, why are you still in your sleep clothes? Even on the days when I'm just piddling around the house with no plans to go anywhere, I still put on clothes and not pajamas. I feel much more productive when I change into normal clothes, even when working from home. You are the idiot. I'm usually one to say your house, your rules, but this rule is frankly ridiculous. Pajamas are just comfortable clothes, and I don't see how wearing a shirt and sweatpants all day is more presentable than pajamas. Who are they even expected to be presentable for if it's just them, you, and your wife at home? As long as the pajamas aren't stinking, I really don't see why this even matters. If you're going to set a rule that you view as essential to your family's mental health, you have to be able to talk about it with your children and reevaluate the rule when it doesn't work. Being so strict doesn't seem productive for your kids. My husband and I are both overweight, him more than me. We both have high blood pressure. Last year his doctor referred him to a sleep clinic, and it turned out he has severe sleep apnea. Made sense since he was snoring loudly and choking in his sleep, and needed a constant positive airway pressure, CPAP, which we got. He was also referred to a weight loss clinic which prescribed some expensive medication to help him lose weight, but he is refusing to eat vegetables or exercise, so at best he's maintaining. My doctor referred me to a sleep clinic due to my high blood pressure, and that I am literally always tired. Well, it turns out I have a different type of sleep apnea, and less severe than my husband, but sleep apnea all the same. The doctor recommended I try a CPAP, and referred me to a weight loss clinic, the same one my husband is using. Well, I tried the CPAP, and it made a big difference. I wear a fitness watch and have been using it to measure my sleep. Before the CPAP, it said I was in light sleep mode the entire night, and I hadn't had dreams in years. When on the CPAP, I get 3 hours of deep sleep a night and actually dream. First of all, my husband insisted if I get a CPAP, it is the exact same machine he has, so that parts are compatible, which made some sense. The place where I got the CPAP for the trial suggested a mask based on my nose type, and my husband was annoyed it was different than his since his comes in the full size range, so he had extras in my size. He ended up insisting I try one of his styles a couple of weeks, in which I tried and hated. It kept spraying air in my face, so I switched back to the one that fit me, which he got mad about. He also asked me to try not using the heated tube, since he doesn't like using a heated tube, so that he can just buy the one type. It was too cold, and I really didn't like it. He keeps our room cool at night, and I don't like freezing air forced into my lungs. Well, my doctor said she was giving me a full prescription to buy one. My husband strongly feels that I should refuse. I have insurance that would reimburse us within the week, so that isn't really an issue. But he is complaining that it's too inconvenient, that it would take the week, and managing the extra supplies. He's saying I don't really need it since I'm not as bad as him. He is also telling me I should turn down the referral to the weight loss clinic, since he hasn't seen any improvement and has been considering dropping out of it himself, but I want to give it a try. He thinks I'm being an idiot because I refuse to let him make the call. I think he's being an idiot by trying to make my medical decisions based on what is convenient for him. So, am I the idiot? Nurse here. The face masks are designed differently to accommodate different face shapes. Not everyone has the same face shape. You literally need your own equipment because you can't guarantee the face mask that is right for you is compatible with the face mask that is right for your husband. I suspect your husband also has unresolved psychological issues related to his being overweight, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was trying to sabotage you so you don't lose weight just because he doesn't want to. Please don't let your husband keep you from being a healthier person. I promise diet and exercise is much more effective than any medication. Not the idiot. First, I'm glad the CPAPs work for both of you. As two individuals with different types of sleep apnea, of course you would need different equipment. Your husband's insistence on the CPAPs being compatible is weird. That's akin to demanding your shoes fit his feet because it's more convenient for him. Second, your husband is not a doctor. And based on your post, he's not a good patient either. Third, go for the CPAP and weight loss clinic. It's your health and your body, and your health and body are your choice. Who knows, if you stick to it, you could inspire your husband to follow in your footsteps. Honestly, it sounds like he's incredibly insecure. All I could think of was that he's afraid you successfully lose the weight and realize how much dead weight you're carrying around. You'll find confidence and drop him, and he'll actually have to get his crap together and do work around the house. Not the idiot. Do what you need to do to be healthy and happy. I would tell him to kick rocks. You've listened to what he has to say, but this is your decision you will make for yourself. Sounds to me like your husband wants to sabotage your health and may be afraid that if you lose weight he'll lose you. Don't let him keep you beat down and feeling like you can't make your own decisions. I have 3 kids. The middle, 15, was born profoundly deaf. My other 2 kids, 17, 14, and my husband and I are all fluent in sign language. When my son, Spencer, was entering kindergarten, we enrolled him in our local public school. It turned out to be a disaster, and we switched him to a school for the deaf and hard of hearing. It was about 30 minutes away, but we thought it was important. He liked it better, but told us he sometimes felt judged for coming from a hearing family and for not being proud to be deaf. When Spencer was younger, we tried cochlear implants. It didn't work for him, but by the time he was 8 he knew about the controversy surrounding continuous integration and decided not to ever tell anyone because he didn't want to be shunned. He asked to transfer to the local high school for his freshman year. He's a sophomore now and is still at the local high school. He doesn't keep in contact with many people from his deaf school anymore. He said the final straw was when people told him he'd better not start dating a hearing girl after transferring schools. My son isn't dating anyone, but is hanging out with a hearing girl and interested in dating hearing girls. He said he doesn't want to put a girl through all of that judgment, so he hasn't told anyone from his old school. A mom friend of mine, deaf with a deaf daughter, invited us to an event for deaf and hard of hearing teens. My daughter was interested because she wants to become a speech pathologist and work with deaf kids, but neither of my boys were. My friend asked why Spencer was skipping events for deaf teens lately, and I explained why. She said that I was selfish for keeping him from his community. I explained that I wasn't, but she said all teens push back, but I need to be the parent here and stop him. She said I'm allowing him to isolate himself from his culture and he'll resent me for it when he gets older and gains perspective. Not the idiot. I'm very hard of hearing, bordering on profound. It's tough. I'm not deaf enough either literally or culturally to be accepted into the deaf community, but I've been bullied and ostracized by the hearing community too. It's like we never fit in anywhere, and if you do find a bunch of friends, you stick to them rather than try and change minds elsewhere. Your son is getting towards 18 years old and is more than capable of making such decisions. This friend of yours is trying to pressure you into participating in something he's not interested in. She's showing the same judgment and concerns that your son was fearing from his classmates at the other school he was in. Not the idiot. The kid's is a teen. He sounds like he is competent in making some of his own decisions. As a parent of an olderish teen, it is your job to help him make decisions independently that will help him grow and progress, as you are doing. Forcing him to go to activities he is not comfortable doing is just going to make him resent it, and possibly you. Which is the opposite of what this other mom is telling you. Don't let people guilt you out of how you are parenting your teens. It sounds like you are doing a terrific job. I think it's great you're letting your son choose his own path, but he'll probably get a lot of pushbacks from a good amount of the deaf community. I have worked with deaf and hard of hearing kids, mostly in their teens, for 25 years. One thing I have learned about deaf people through the years is they value honesty and forthrightness. You were honest and did not try to hide anything from this deaf mom. Also, teens need to find their own identity. Your son is trying to figure out where he belongs, and you are being a good mom in letting him do that. You and your family, unlike the vast majority of families I've known through the years, know sign language and can communicate easily with him, and he's clearly comfortable enough with you to be able to tell you what he wants to do. Not the idiot.